Oh, wow. This is such a pleasure to have this conversation with Linda Joy Benn. And I'm running a show called Embracing Your Design for Midlife Transformation. And Linda is the perfect person to be on the show and share with her wisdom and knowledge and invention she has. So let me briefly let Linda say hi to our audience first.
Hello, great to be here, Sunny, and great to connect with you. You're in California, correct?
I actually in the Midwest, it's called Indiana.
Oh,
And
right.
so we are totally different time zone, but we are flowing in the cloud. We are all connected together.
We're all connected.
Yeah.
We're all in alignment.
Yes.
Yes. Shining
Yeah.
our light everywhere we go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So allow me to introduce Linda a little bit further. Linda is a transformational catalyst, and she's also industrial leader in consciousness revolution. That is such a great thing to do right now. We all need some leader to lead us to the higher consciousness. And particularly, she empowers busy people when they are doing too much in corporate or they are individual entrepreneurs to take charge of their health so they can leave their burnouts and start to live with more joys and productivity. So this is such an honor to have Linda with us for today's show. And I think before I started, I have first question, really curious about how you have the joy in your middle name. And did you know you're going to be helping people about their joy when you start to think about what you need to do?
It was such a blessing to actually have Joy as my middle name, and then later learn that that's my whole purpose for being here on this planet. And as a child, I just came in and I was always joyful and happy, much to my family's dismay, because they were I grew up in quite a volatile, abusive environment, whereas I was always optimistic, and I still am. And I believe that when you know who you are as a soul and what your soul's purpose is, it's like you just keep following, that mission, regardless of what's happening around you. And so that's it. Yeah, quickly. I could go much deeper though.
Yes, I mean, it's just like my background is in Chinese, right? So when the kids, even before they're born, the parents will try to figure out what is the best name. They're actually doing a lot of scientific way to calculate how many stroke, when you write it, it's kind of picture, and how many times you have to write their name and bring it up to a fortune teller. And the fortune teller will kind of contemplate it and say, by the time and that. So it's like a fun. I'm not doing that, but right now my name, I really think about, just not, life is not coincidence, right? It's always happening for the reason. We already know that. So right now I reflect on my name is really just what I'm doing. And I believe subconsciously or consciously you are really coming here to help people with the joys and burnout and productivity, and you are living your design, which is amazing.
And I've only just started learning about the gene keys and the human design over the last few years. And it's so fascinating. I love it because, and then it works in with the astrology as well. And so, which is another thing that I've been studying, but there's so many layers. So it's like you're constantly learning, but that's my passion project right now, is just learning more and more and going deeper and deeper.
Yeah. Well, I'm involved with system just about 2 years too. It's just fascinating. I can really see the profile and I can contemplate, and I can talk to a person even I don't know them, But when I say something, they were just like, yeah, how come you know? So I know this is not only just for for fun. It's really some kind of hint for us to relate to our life journey. Particular gene keys you mentioned about. Just for little information, I think maybe your audience or my audience not necessarily know what is the human design system. So when we say human design system, they might have all the different pictures showing up. But the complete system actually called Rafe Mandela. And they have a big rings outside and they have a body graph with all the energy center in the middle. So the whole system include 4 different esoteric systems, or they are all ancient. So like you mentioned about astrology, yes, it's outside with the 12 horoscope. Then above that 12 horoscope, you got the 64 different archetypes. Those are the ancient I Ching, my heritage, that up to like 8,000 years old. So when that connect with this astrology, actually for me right now, I'm contemplating, I start to understand those, it's like a transit. So every 6 days, the hexagram will change to the next one. And that's the gene keys. When we change to the next one, then you actually send everything in the whole solar system, particular information, like energy. So they send us information every 6 days. That's how we have a seasons. That's how some flower know how to open up, and tree will lose the leaf or temperature. Yes, but basically just information. We connect with the solar system. So gene keys for us is similar like that. And the body graph is our body energy. So we are actually receiver. We can sense that information. For people maybe has more sensitivity in their body, they can definitely feel the shift.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So this is the whole system actually is, I will call it is the energetic system. So we all connected energetically. Like we all talk about we are connected, right? So I this is my insight, not necessarily correct, but I'm not sure whether you see something similar in your life. You feel some directions.
I have always been highly sensitive, and especially to the energy of other people. And even when I was younger, it's like I didn't understand, back then that I was an empath and I'm highly sensitive and I pick up everything. So this is where I really just kept my communication with spirit and going direct to source and communicating from that level, because especially in my family dynamics growing up, it was quite challenging. And not having people who understood where I was coming from. And so, but I've always been fascinated with what makes other people tick and why they do what they do. And again, over my 30 years of being in the health and wellness industry, just constantly learning. Though I first met, well, I was always interested in more of the spiritual side, and especially psychics and energy work and anything to do with the other dimensions, other galaxies. And when I was traveling and I met my spiritual teacher in 1990 in San Jose, California. And at the time, that was the turning point, because I had cancer at the time. And not that I told him that, but he knew. And basically from when so how it started, I met this lady in San Francisco who said, and I don't know how the conversation came up, but she said, would you like to come and have a psychic reading, and come with me? I went, absolutely. So we both went. And then after the reading, he said, I don't normally do this, but here's my card and here's my phone number. Call me. And even the friend I went with, she didn't know I had cancer because it wasn't something I talked about. I was just on this adventure and traveling and so, but it was a lot of suppressed emotions because of, all the sadness and hurt and not understanding why my family treated me the way that they did and ostracized me and didn't love me. And so it was a lot of emotions. And so having a conversation with Dale helped me to understand the mind-body connection, but also why I chose my family and helping me to understand that we're all playing roles. We all chose our family to be the perfect roles that they're playing for our soul to learn and grow. And so having that perspective and seeing things from a different outlook, and also understanding what my purpose was for others. We all go through these experiences for our soul's growth and evolution, and that all ties into our soul's mission and our soul's purpose and why we're all here. And some people have gone through horrific traumatic events, and some have gone through very mild significant emotional events. So it just depends on what you signed up for in this lifetime. So this is where I'm always fascinated with, the astrology, the gene keys, the human design, and just understanding it on a much deeper level, because then you can really help somebody to understand what their soul's mission is, and to not get caught up in the chaos or the drama or what's going on.
That's really yes, we do need to learn, but we can actually don't need to take that much learning. But if we don't know, we might make the wrong decisions, or we might borrow people's idea and think that it should follow through. But then not necessarily, just like you mentioned so many times, the soul need to know, the soul connection with our universe and our past, our contract. If we know it earlier, we don't need to really go to too many wrong direction and say wrong, and turn back and waste a lot of energy. That's how I see actually gene keys can help a lot. So gene keys, based on, I understand that they are a past. They're based on the tree of life in Kabbalah. That's the ancient Hebrew system. So they are kind of say you sign up for, you're doing this, and then you can do something that you can attract certain thing for you to grow up in your soul and purify your soul. But then you will have a lot of trauma, they call sacred wounds. Then through doing it and accepting and love and know our soul level, then we can start to release all the traumas. Then because then we can become really aligned with our business, because that business is imprinting in us. We just didn't know. We do a lot of things not necessarily aligned until we really decided to face and embrace our design, right? It's not perfect design, but it's perfect for our purpose.
Exactly. Because it also ties into our Akashic records and what we came in with. So, and my purpose for doing my work that I do is really helping individuals to come into alignment with their soul's purpose and their mission and why they're here, but to connect with that true calling, and just to have trust and faith, because many people get caught up in the stress and the chaos and all the dynamics going on around, and there's a lot going on around the planet, especially right now. But this is why we all came here as souls, to witness what is happening with humanity, with the planet, with how people are acting out and behaviors and agendas and all this is all flowing. And but it's about staying grounded and centered and just trusting and having faith that we're all being guided and that we're all on this same soul's mission and we're all connected.
Yes, and particularly you mentioned about we have a role to come in to observe, but you actually coming here to teach. Based on your human design profile, you are the 5-1. The 5-1 is 1 to 6, so it's different level, has different energetic expression. So line 5, which is your, when you go out, people can see you, you're line 5. So they were coming to ask you for solutions and ask you for directions and believe you got everything they can learn from. So that is your energy. And do you want to share your childhood? Maybe you're like shopping or eating. People will just come and say, Linda, do you know this? Have you experienced like that?
Absolutely. And that's what I love doing. I love sharing.
Yeah.
Just little tips and tools, but everything that I've experienced, you know, throughout my life has equipped me in order to help other people. So it doesn't matter what a client comes to me with or whatever story, whatever trauma they've gone through. It's like, this is how I overcame it, you know, from and when talking about health issues, I overcame cancer, healed my body naturally once I understood. And then also I was diagnosed with autoimmune and chronic fatigue and adrenal burnout and depression. And so I was at the pit at one stage and healed myself medication free, much to my doctor's upset. Not compliant.
You don't need to come back anymore.
and that's why I'm passionate about helping others who are struggling either with health issues or burnout. There's a lot of different steps, you know, incorporated, and some people just go, oh, I'm tired or I'm exhausted or I'm busy or overwhelmed, but long term that will actually lead to more of the serious illnesses and diseases. So in my BENN method of balance, energy, nurture and nourish, these are the steps that I take people through in order to help them to heal their physical body, but to come back into alignment with their soul's mission and purpose, and to have trust and faith. And it's got nothing to do with religion. It's got nothing to do with their culture, what country they're from. It really is just have trust and faith in whoever you believe in, and just know yourself more as a soul. And listen to your inner guidance. So
that is just so important, because when we're busy, we only focus on the goal in 3D, you know, get it done and meet the deadline. But sometimes we're not having enough attention to our soul level and how really, what thing can make me happy and what thing I do with ease other than struggles and you know, force. And we have all this wisdom within our body, and we just sometimes just dismiss them. And when you know, get away, I don't need self-care now. Get away, I don't care about, you know, I need to go for a walk and let me finish that. And all of a sudden, well, it's midnight, I haven't eaten my dinner. So this is all happening for a lot of busy, productive people, right? You just briefly mentioned about your trademark method called BENN, and with the 5 different steps you lead people through to renew their health. And I just want to maybe ask you to share, if you can, what is the journey when the client come in and come out? You know, when they come in with certain proud of them when they out and what they get from this program. It just sounds amazing.
So I've got 2 different programs. The foundation to the BENN Method is my 5R renewal program. And so those 5 steps are release, realign, restore, rebalance, and re-energize. So that's where we go into the weeds to clear out a lot of that 3D, the thinking, the beliefs, the old patterns, the programs, the subconscious, more, what's those behaviors and patterns that are running your life unconsciously. And so we clean that up, and that's an online program. And then you move into the BENN Method because that's more of a sustainable model for longevity. Because every day we're always, there's stuff happening, and it's like, how do you react or respond in that moment?
Yes,
and if you're running any old stress patterns, well, that behavior is going to come out. And so the more you can practice the BENN Method, which is balance, energy, nurture, and nourish, and check in and follow your inner guidance on a daily basis. And they're the tools that I share with people to empower them to take charge of their life, their health, their well-being, and keep everything in balance. So because it's like our health, our body's constantly trying to come into homeostasis. And the more that we can tune in and use our body as a barometer and tune in to what's happening energetically around us and astrologically or, galactically, or, there's a lot.
All your neighbors,
Yes, and then it's like physical stuff as well. And so to balance all of that on a daily basis and just be in tune. And so, and, the last few years has actually been such a blessing for many people who have awakened and become more conscious and aware. And this is something I've been teaching for, about 20 years, is to help to shift consciousness and expand awareness. And one of the other things that I teach is, a modality that connects all 12 strands of DNA. But 20 years ago, people went, "You're from another planet." And it's like, this is amazing.
No, yes, exactly.
And so this is going to just shift, humanity, and mass consciousness, whereas I was put in a woo-woo box, whereas that's why I'm passionate.
But now they all know, a lot of things the science couldn't know then. But they're catching up, yes.
Exactly. And now science and spirituality are actually coming into alignment.
Closer, yeah.
Yes. Which makes our work so much easier in order to share, because it's backed up by science. But it's just taken, a few decades for things to catch up. And
and I kind of know you actually coming to United States to share all your wisdom in the program, and what an honor we have you to visit us. And would you like to maybe tell us how to follow you? I will definitely put the link or invite, because you're going to be here for a while, right?
6
Not
weeks.
just like
I'm about to, on Monday, October the 30th, I'm flying to San Francisco. I'll be touring around for 6 weeks. So mostly in the San Francisco Bay Area, and then going down to Southern California, across to Arizona, Las Vegas, and then back to the Bay Area. And in that time, I will be giving presentations, and also, so that's in different locations. And a lot of it will be spontaneous as well, because I'm just following my inner guidance. But it's all about how to, because I haven't traveled for 4 years. So this is really tuning in to what do people need when at the time, And so, yes, I've got several things that I can share and teach, though when I arrive, that's where I will really pinpoint and go, okay, this is what's needed, this is what's priority at the time, and how can I best bring as much love and light to the area to uplift others and to uplift their energy vibration, and to just release all that stress and the uncertainty and the fear that's occurred in the last few years. For many people, and a lot of people are still, coming out of survival and just going, whoa, what's next? So empowering them to trust and have faith, to make choices and decisions for their highest good and destiny, and also to make choices and decisions that feel good for them, and to trust that. And so this also comes into the three brains: our head brain, our heart, and our gut brain, which is another thing that I talk about and share. And it's just trusting and having faith. And so
the trust is really, I think, based on the Gene Key, the first 7 years is our trust building process, like our interaction with everything around us. This is the downloading time, because we are really just not far from our true self. But when we come down here, we start to imprinting, we absorb different energy level from our experience. And by the 7 years, really just getting all the programming impact to our behavior wise, then we using that same operation system for the rest of our life if we're not aware, if we're not really go back to heal the wounds. And just like you say, right, you're born with sensitivity and you have confusion because nobody can guide you and understand. So you are kind of put in the dark. And but the Gene Key is really, there is 3 levels of consciousness. We call it shadow, gifts, and city. City is more like a 4 expression, like a light. So you don't have any the doubts and worried and stuff like that. So we are there. Actually, that's our natural state. We are lights. We are really coming down the earth for this 3D journey. But in order for us to realize how to go through our journey, we always give in some kind of low vibe thing. So that is our shadow, our script. So we get on with the script with something we don't really like, or we just feel fearful from those. But when we start to deal with it, facing it and learn, every time they come in, we just have to learn through it. Then we become gift frequency. That means you're skillful. If something just coming, oh, I see that before, so I can deal with it with ease. But through all the journey, the 3 levels, we all have the potential, because the lights and shadow really just the whole thing. And we are in the middle to create that shadow, right? But once we clean out, once we allow it, once we just embracing, it's like, I'm not perfect, but I'm perfect for what I'm doing here. Then the lights start to coming out. And I think you are just like that person. You are the 5-1. And you have your trademark program, right? And you are travel around places to share and help other people to align their true self. They can have their own light coming out. And I love you talk about, you give them this BENN program or method. They can take care, they can self-regulate themselves, right? And they can keep their lights. So you don't need to constantly to light up them, you're busy. You couldn't do this. If they have their own awareness about their inner wisdoms and the light, they just keep doing something to really enjoy, keep that joy, happiness above. And I think that is your beautiful contribution for this society. And it's totally showing out in your Gene Keys. Would you like me to share my insights about your Gene Keys?
Please. I would love that. Thank you.
No problem.
I'm the confirmation. why I do what I do and why I am
Yeah.
passionate and
Every
why.
time I read somebody's profile, you know, I just like, I'm just so honored to meet all the god and goddess because they are just, wow. There's a lot of the genius inside their profile. So Linda, when you are life work, I'm gonna just to share your activation sequence. The Gene Keys Golden Path has a 3 sequence. I mentioned about activation is your doing and being, how you do the core stability. Then for the second sequence, we call Venus. That is more like attraction fields and our sacred wound in the first 21 years of our imprinting process. So everything in there and kind of indicated we go through a journey, but we are not fully aware then. But now it's our choice to come back to revisit our past and let it go. Something's not serving us anymore. That's the Venus sequence. Then the third one is called Pearl. Think about the pearl, you know, it's coming from the very irritated sand, right, inside the clam, and the clam just hated it, but it couldn't take it out. So the only thing they can do, just like you say, nurturing, nourishing, and they leave the balance and let the energy flow, and then that become a pearl. Yeah. So that is the pearl sequence. But today, since we really just have fun conversation, I can only tell you your activation sequence, which is already amazing. And all other is just like, wow, or you're just ready to go to the lights level because you are really doing a lot of things. All right, so your life work is 23. And 23 is from the journey from complexity through the simplicity. And you finally go to the quintessence. I mean, you know, you're purify in the end is like a crystal clear. But in the beginning, that we don't understand a thing. We will kind of doing error and trial, you know, see this and that, and makes things complicated. But it's not. It's just our mind think it seems complicated because we confused about the 3D so many times, right? So
that's why I like to simplify everything. Simple.
Yeah, but we try for that. You know, we go to school, people will say it's not that simple. You have to think complicated. But that that's not necessarily the fact, right? Yeah, but in doing the life work a lot and your evolution, they are actually kind of partner pairing. That the other key evolution key is you are the 43. So you will find maybe you kind of tune out with your soul calling. You may be in the younger age, it doesn't really know what you need to do because you're confusing, you're suppressing your you know, emotion, those kind of things. So you don't align or connect. But because there's so many events in your life, just like you mentioned, you visit this spiritual teachers, he is the messenger, right? He is there for you to wake up your connection. So you will flow into have a lot of insights. So I start to understand the calling and the communication from the solar system. Then you finally go out to your epiphany. You're like, you know, you all light out and you all know that. So that life work and your evolution is your doing. It's your maybe the first 40, 50 years. Most of the gene keys really tell us is the timing. We need to do a lot of light work and evolution to face a lot of challenges. But when the timing is right, we learn all the skills, then women just begin to fly, right? So we break through it and go to the being side. Being, a human design is like a design and personality of the different solar system number, right? So the being in Gene Key is just your design sun and design earth, which you will bring in that imprinting even before you're born. But that actually give us the hint how to keep us healthy. So the radiant key you have is 30. That is the key for you to be healthy. And the 30 in the ancient I Ching is 2 fires. So in the younger age, the first fire actually is kind of just teach us and burn us, so we learn things quicker. But the up trigram, the fire actually start to light up, so you share your wisdom through your experience, because you got burned or you confused, you got physical conditions, but you all because you're rising up with your consciousness, right? And then you start to conquer all the physical situation. That's how you get your health back, because you are radiant, you are double fire, you have a lot of desire and you want to just burn through and help others, but that make you healthy. That is
Absolutely.
really your radiance key.
Thank
Then
you.
you go to the purpose, because the being actually is being and becoming. They are paired. So when the being, really, we don't need to do anything. We just show up, just our beingness, right? But becoming is really after we reach our natural state of beingness. There is a purpose for us to sign a contract to start with, right? So we come down here, you are the 29. That again is double water. So water, in the ancient way, is such an amazing material. They have a membrane, right? They can nourish, again, that's met with your brain, nourish and nurture everything on earth. But then also that can be indicated uncertainty. So in your life purpose, I would say from the 29 is from something you don't know. So you reserve your commitments. You just, when you're younger, you don't feel safe or something. So you're hesitant to jump in. But then once you get wiser, you have more of the life experience, you trust yourself and trust the information around you. Now you start to commit it. But the commit is only not for one thing, it's to commit it to become who you are. So your commitments will raise up by your consciousness, and also because you understand you here have a mission, you are the 5-1. 5 is the fixer, 5 is the leader, 5 is the solution person. So we all need you to be back to your 5-1 so we can all get help, right? So your life purpose really just from that lack of commitments, become committed to what you do to serve others, and you finally go become a devotion. The devotion is really like, that's people think about Linda, that's devotion, that's her, right? So you will really just shine through what you do and serve. But of course, you need to go through your own journey, which not easy at times. Yeah, well, because the 29 in China, the water is trouble. You got double trouble, but then that means you learn more, right? When you face
I
the difficulty.
signed up for a lot in this lifetime, and it's been quite turbulent and tumultuous.
Yeah, so that is your activation sequence. Then you are transformational catalyst. That's just a perfect match, because your life experience and your passion to serve and your wisdom, because you're really the number one level is the person really do a lot of detail and learning themselves. They need to do the investigating. So think about, you do a lot of investigating and try something and know it works, and then you become a leader to provide that solution to others. And that's how I see your profile.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that, Sunny. The name or the title Transformational Catalyst actually came from my astrology teacher when she looked at my chart and went, oh my God, you got a trine. You got, your sun here and Uranus here and Pluto here. And I went, well, what does that mean? And she went, you're a transformational catalyst. And it just really sat true for me. It's like, yes, that's all in alignment with what I'm here to do and help people to transform their life. But back then, especially in corporate, they went, oh no, that's too woo-woo. You can't use that title. So go back to just health and wellness, something for them to understand. So when it comes to the whole marketing, it's like, how do I get, my message out there where people are understanding exactly what I can do to help them as an individual.
Yes, yes. Well, I'm so appreciate you. You committed and you devoted for the last 30
Absolutely.
years, really, because you know that is really you need to do, and you know it through your life experience and through
Yes.
the journey you took.
Yes.
So I really appreciate your work, Linda.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sunny. This has been amazing. And when I get to the States, definitely I will connect with you. I'm looking forward to coming back and actually seeing people in the flesh, in person, so I can hug them.
Yes,
And,
yes.
I'm very, very
Yeah.
kinesthetic, so I'm a hugger. And,
Yeah, I'm happy to have you. So you have your website. I definitely want to put it in there, but you have any other way for our audience to connect with you other than your website, Linda
So it's
Ben.com?
lindabenn.com,
Okay.
and on there I've got buttons to book a clarity call. So for anyone who's interested in having a quick chat, just book a time on that
Yes.
calendar, and then I can have a private conversation with them. And plus on all the social media, from LinkedIn, Facebook, I've got a Facebook group called BENN Method with Linda, and then also my business page, lindabenn.com. Sorry, Linda Benn International, and then Instagram, Linda Joy Benn, TikTok. So not much on Twitter, but on all the other major social media platforms, you can find me. Either put in Linda Benn or Linda Joy Benn, and you can find me and connect and send me a message, and let's have a chat. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, this is very become pandemic. A lot of burnout worker. I actually working with the Strike Global as one of their coach. So I coaching the executive with the burnout issue, but using the Strike Global, they have a website, they have the app. So it's everything we really want to support is we do need people to be productive, not burnout.
That's right.
And with your particular program integrated with different level of the energy, that is really needed. Because sometimes we totally based on the data, right? We say, oh, we just need to make our mindset think about differently. But energetically, they are not aligned. Even they put the rest, the mind, because the mind actually sometimes in the way, if we're not clear about what they do, it's our heart is really just the pure, great source to the inner guidance. But then this one is tricky. So I really think about, in the future, the program like you have, the band and other thing incorporate different level holistically. That is the future medicine, and other things in a different molecular level, genetic level, all that level, mind level, but then missing the soul level. I think that is the future really need to incorporate in that. And hoping by then they don't call it woo, they're calling it wah wah. They really
Exactly.
think that is a great thing, right?
Well, it's interesting. I spoke to a lady yesterday who's actually doing her thesis for her PhD. And so she's very science-based, but she said the science hasn't helped her. And she is actually depressed and burnt out, and all the symptoms of burnout, and, lost motivation. And she's trying to, she's really struggling with her health, as well as focus, as well as general well-being and her mood. And so now it's like, well, the science hasn't quite answered or helped me. So now she's looking at, what's my soul, how's my soul going to help me? So we're going to work together to get her thesis done and get her back feeling happy and joyful and motivated and sleeping every night soundly, because she hasn't been sleeping because it's all worry and stress and everything that's stopping her from getting her thesis done. So it doesn't matter. When people come, I just meet them wherever they're at on their level of consciousness. And and we work with where they're at, and we just keep raising them up and raising their energy vibration, and just cleaning up all those areas so they come back into alignment with their true purpose and their true authentic self, you know, connect back to their heart and their soul. And then it's like, yes, you know, you just know, you know in your heart, it's like, yes, this is why I'm here. And a lot of people are just searching for that yes. You know, what's my purpose? And you can't get it from up here. It's more embodied and a feeling, and a knowing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole human design system designed for us to really see a different level. Then understand we have a choice, right? You know, if you know your design, you know you have certain open center will bring in certain sensation and energy flow, and you're aware it's not a problem. It's just we're not aware. So we're using somebody's solutions that not necessarily fit in with our design. And the frustration will come is like, why 70% of them can work with this method, but not me? But it's because the design is different. If you don't know your energy flow and don't know you sign up for, you're actually against ourselves, because we are so powerful. If we're not aligned, we're against ourselves, right?
And this is what I remind people to come back, you know, just remind them how powerful and magnificent and unlimited they are. But when you're running all these stories and old belief systems that are just keeping them stuck in the 3D, it's like, but that's not who you are. Come back, you know. So that's where I really encourage people to believe in themselves and have the confidence and trust.
Exactly. Well, you know, everybody, we will know how to connect with Linda. She definitely has a tool to help you in any level. If we don't know aware, and she will bring you up to the next level. So definitely you're going to heal yourself because she did herself. And also you open up a different perspective about who you are. You're not 3D person you think you are, right? You definitely can see something, the potential where you can come back to serve the humanity or serve your community different way. So I really appreciate, Linda, you are committed to be here, and you also devoted to your life purpose, and you go through a lot of fire and water just to be ready to serve us. So I really appreciate your work in that.
It's been a journey. I'll put it in a book one day.
Yeah, I appreciate you. So I thank you for being my guest, and we will connect. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sunny. Bye-bye.